Hello my dear students, I have created this video to discuss regarding the k-means algorithm. Since I have already discussed this chapter before the lockdown, that is during the regular class hours itself, I have explained only the k-means algorithm in this video. So in order to understand the k-means algorithm, one has to know at least the meaning of the cluster or the cluster analysis with respect to the business data. So what is meant by the cluster analysis? For that, you need to know the meaning of a clustering. If you go to the dictionary meaning of a clustering, in general, clustering is nothing but grouping of a related objects or the things. So, clustering is a technique used for automatic identification of natural grouping of things. That means the data instances that are related to each other can be categorized into the one cluster, whereas the data instances that are not at all related to each other are grouped under the different clusters here. So what is this clustering is going to do with the machine learning? The clustering is one of the technique which is a part of a machine learning family where it employs the unsupervised learning. So if you remember what is unsupervised learning or the difference between the supervised learning and the unsupervised learning, you know that in unsupervised learning you do not require any training data to train the model to predict the values. Instead, with the data available with you, so within that you will be able to obtain the prediction or the decision. So it is not the output dependent variable, and it is also said to be as a segmentation. Why? Because you are going to divide the data into the different groups with the different segmentations here. So I'll directly jump into the examples for the clustering analysis here. So you if you remember, I already told you where does this clustering is going to help. So in most of the businesses, you always require to associate the things to make it as a one group so that you can sell it in a with a good margin, and whereas you can attract even the customers also. For example, if you go to the any grocery shops, you always find a combo pack consisting of the certain things which are grouped together and are given with a fair amount of the discount, and even with the fair amount of the margin even for the seller also. So those all are the just example of the clustering. Not only with the groceries, you visit the any other businesses also. Even in case of the banking sectors, even case of the insurances, you always get a certain packages or the association of the services where you can say it as a result of the clustering only. So for doing this clustering, you have the two approaches that are the bottom up approach and the top down approach. So first we'll discuss regarding the what is a bottom up approach, then we'll come to know what is the top down approach here. So in this bottom up approach, for example, here in this figure, whatever you are seeing, just a random data considered for the any example. So the data that is available with you is plotted against the x and the y axis. So you can see here this is with 2 4 2 6, the 2 representing the x axis and 6 and 4 are representing the y axis, and so as same for the other data points also here. So what happens in this bottom up approach, where this approach is used to create the clusters, or else you can say that how you are going to identify the different clusters for the data available with you. So in such cases, with the bottom up approach, you are going to begin with identifying the only one centroid with the available data with you. So this is how you have formed a one centroid here. So what means with the centroid here is the all the data, the rest of the data has to communicate with this centroid in order to say that they belong to this cluster. So with this view itself, you can see that the very few points are very near to this centroid, whereas the rest of the points, for example 4 7 5 7, or you may consider 8 3 or 5 2, are far nearer to this centroid. So in order to reduce this problem, you can always divide the data into different clusters and consider the different centroids, only to make that the only to realize that the data points are nearer to the centroids here. So even in this example also, so you can see that though these 3 points 5 2 6 3 and 8 3 are near to this centroid, so within this cluster you can see that the few again points may be far away from this center, so that it is feasible to divide this into the still more clusters here, so as it is done here. So now it's clear that the whatever the centroids that you have created with respect to data is going to give you the correct clusters having all the data points are nearer to its centroids. So this is how we are going to create the clusters or identify the things which belongs to the same clusters, and then you can assign the centroids here. So basically if you are done in this, so the all the points that are belonging to the one cluster, for example the data that is available at 475756 and 66 are going to have the similar characteristics here. So it may be with respect to the any example. So again here in this cluster 262444 are having the similar characteristics. So whenever any new data is going to be fed with this model, so you need to just identify the characteristics of that new data so that you can categorize it to the one or the other cluster here. So this is how the clusters are going to be created with the bottom up approach. And now we'll see the top down approach, which is nothing but the k-means algorithm here. So the k-means algorithm used for creating the clusters is said to be as the top-down approach. So we'll see what is done here, and we'll first study the what is the pseudocode here. So in the k-means algorithm, you need to choose a k data points as the initial centroids. Then once you have created the centroids, then you need to assign the each data point to the one or the other centroid, and then you need to calculate the distance from the each data point, that is x, to the each centroid, and assign the x to the closest centroid. Then the each data point needs to be assigned to the closest centroid here. So once you have done this, so again you need to identify whether all the data points are nearer to the centroid or not. If not, so you need to recompute the centroids using the current cluster membership, where you can relocate the centroid positions, and again the assigning the data points to the centroids are going to be repeated. So this entire loop is going to repeat until and unless the centroids remain static within the graph over there. So we'll see with an example here. So with the same data what we have seen here, with respect to the bottom up approach, we are going to see what we are going to do it in a k-means algorithm here. So in this example you can see we have taken in the bottom approach at the beginning, in the first step we have created only one centroid here. But as in case with this k-means algorithm, you are going to create the number of centroids at a time, and then you are going to assign the data points to one or the other centroids here. So as you can see, as an initial step in this k-means algorithm, we have created here the three centroids initially. So this is not the fixed one. We have created these centroids initially. The next step is to assign the data points to the one or the other centroids here. So as you can see, it is feasible that the one which is closer to that data point, that data point will be assigned to that cluster. So the next thing is, depending upon the assignment here, how it is going to be done is by calculating a distance between the centroid to the each data point. So that means if this 47 is closer to this data point as compared to this, and this data point it will assign to the this centroid here. So same as with the rest of the cases. But one thing that can be observed from this here is here you have created the centroid which you say that these points are nearer to this centroid here. But if you think that whether is it going to be feasible if you relocate the centroid somewhere else here, so that it can be still closer to these data points here. So that is said to be as a relocating the centroids. You can see here the position of the each centroid has been changed here with the new positions here. So once that has been done, again what needs to be done is, again you need to calculate the distance between the new position of centroids with the respect to data points here. So once that is done, again you are going to assign all the data points to the one or the other centroids here. So this is going to repeat until and unless the centroid positions are going to be fixed at one time. So once it is fixed, then the creation of the clusters and creating the centroids for the each cluster is finalized here. So you can see here now the positions of the each centroid is fixed here, and all the data points has been assigned to the one or the other centroids, and you can say that the clusters has been created with the k-means algorithm here. So I hope now it's clear what is meant by the k-means algorithm, which is a top-down approach, and what is meant by the bottom-up approach. So thank you.